everybody, this is Gayle. Welcome to my channel tonight. We are doing some travel planning, vacation planning, and travel trivia. I've got some tips and hints that will hopefully help you have a better time when you travel. I do want to ask you to bear with me because I'm still dealing with COVID fog and I may get a little breathless. So just bear with me on that, okay? But I hope we're going to have a fun time tonight. This is actually something that I had planned to do prior to getting sick. So I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. And that means hopefully having a fun vacation planning and travel trivia evening live with you all. So without further ado, let me go in. And Busy Lady is already here. Hi, Busy Lady. How are you doing tonight? I hope you are having a great night. I'm always glad to see you. We have Valerie Reese in the house who could probably tell us all about travel planning for your next cruise because she just came back from one and I'm totally jealous. And we have Money Fluffy Bunny. Bada beep. Hello, I'm here. Hi and welcome. Oh gosh, Valerie just got back from vacation at 2 a.m. this morning. So welcome back, Valerie. She posted some great pictures over on her Facebook page. They're amazing. And I know she's going to have some videos coming out. Oh no. Yeah, I hope you get over it quickly. Don't be me. I got sick on the 9th of December. And it's the 29th of January. So don't be me. Get well. I like saying hi. 'Tis I, Sam. Yes, it is. And welcome. Let's see who else we got. Valerie's here. Candy, the wee service dog, is here. Hello, Gayle, and everyone. So hi, Candy. Hi, Candy. It's good to see everybody. We've got a bunch in the chat tonight. Just don't forget to smash the like button. And if you all have not subscribed yet to this channel, please go ahead and do so. And definitely hit that like button because that helps with the algorithms. And for those who see this later, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and join the channel and subscribe, okay? So, some different things to talk about here. Okay, Money Fluffy Bunny says her day's been weird. Usually she's not able to appear tonight due to work, but yeah, snow day. Yay, we've got snow too. How much do you have? We've got about 5 inches, I think. 4 or 5 inches. Sparkle by Monica is here. Either she's buffering with a rural Cal internet or the signal is down at YouTube. LOL. I'm not going to hazard to guess. Have no idea which one that will be. So, okay. Got a couple of trivia questions. First, I'm going to skip around a little bit. I got a couple of trivia questions. Then we're going to spin the wheel and talk about some of our topics and kind of let the wheel decide. So, first travel trivia question. I'm going to put this down in the chat box. And we are using StreamYard this week. And last week we didn't. So let me know if you think that there's a difference, yes or no, as we go through the stream. So, and if you're in our Facebook group, go ahead and you can put it down there and just kind of let me know which you like better. Okay. So our question right now is, according to the New York Post, how many Americans are planning to travel for leisure this year? Is it under 30%, over 50%, or over 70%? Which will it be? Which one? And I will admit, this really kind of surprised me. We've got B. We've got A. We've got Stellar Piper. So hi, Stellar, and welcome. Valerie says over 50. Stellar is saying A. Well, believe it or not, this one really threw me for a loop. And I'm going to tell you the number is 71%. It's amazing to me that it's that high. But that's what they're reporting, is that it's 71% of Americans are planning to travel for leisure this year. I'm going to share this with you. I kid you not. So I thought this number was going to be a whole lot lower, but no, there it is right there. And they're quoting TripAdvisor. So 71% of Americans are planning to travel for leisure, which is up 8%. Of course, now the definition of travel can be anything from traveling to go see family or going across town or having a staycation. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean spending big bucks. But it really did surprise me. And let's see what you all think. Let's see. Sam said till over 50. Valerie says that's awesome. Busy Lady says that's crazy. Candy, Laurel says, yay, I was right. That's because everyone is getting tired of being cooped up. And I have to agree. You know, I think that's my personal thought too, is that, hey, Lori Jean's in the house. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, people just need to get out of the home. I agree. I think we are all stuck at being just over it. All right. So that's trivia question number 1, which, like I said, it did surprise me. I have trivia question number 2. Now, this is for last year, 2021, because we don't have stats for this year yet. Okay. So, for 2021, let's see. Thank you, Candy. She likes the colors I have on. Valerie Reese said, we're happy to be able to take our trip. Stellar Piper said she was talking with the Hubs a few days ago about a weekend getaway. There you go. Those are all great things. Our next trivia question is, according to Newsweek, what was the most popular travel destination in 2021? That's the last year we have stats for. So which do you all think it is? Do you think it is New York, Hawaii, or Florida? Which one? And this is according to Newsweek, but don't try to go Google it. Guess. Which one might it be? I'm going to pull it up for you in just a minute. I'll get some guesses going. Stellar says A, New York. Busy C for Florida. Lori Jean is saying Hawaii. Stellar says, when are you going to sneak up to see her? Valerie says Florida. Monica says A, which is New York. Candy says Florida. All right. Are y'all ready for this? Are you ready? Hawaii. Hawaii. Which is what I think of as being like the probably close to one of the most expensive places. But it says the perfect combination of sun, sand, and surf, along with never-ending trails leading to spectacular views. And I know that there's one of us here in this group that actually did go to Hawaii this year. But when you dig a little further in the statistics, one of the things that people are wanting to do is they want to be outdoors. You know, you don't want to be cooped up inside where you're 2 feet away from somebody else. You want to be able to be outdoors. And COVID has really pushed us to that because we don't have to mask outdoors unless we're in a really crowded amphitheater or someplace like that where it's impossible to socially distance. So outdoors is what a lot of people are looking for. And Hawaii offers that. There are lots of trails, lots of places to explore that are outside. So, yeah, I was surprised too. Let's see. Lori Jean went for her honeymoon. I know Stellar Piper went this past year. Monica wants to go sometime. Valerie says she'd like to go to Hawaii. Me too. Candy says she's surprised because Hawaii is expensive. Yeah, like I said, I was surprised too. And Valerie says she spent most of her vacation outside. Yeah, that's what people are looking for right now is outdoor places and outdoor activities. And our number 3 trivia question. Speaking of outdoors, national parks. Which was the most visited named national park? Was it, this is for last year, I'm sorry, this is for 2020. Was it A, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, B, Yellowstone National Park, or C, the Grand Canyon? Which one might it be? Now we're talking about national parks, and we're going to talk more about why I'm specifying national parks here in just a minute. Which one might it be? I'm seeing Stellar Piper saying A, the Great Smoky Mountains. Lori is saying Yellowstone. Busy Lady, Valerie, Candy the Wee Service Dog, all saying the Grand Canyon. Sparkle My Monica is saying A. And so let's see. I'm going to pull this up and share it. That way you can all see where I'm getting my info. In this case, it is coming from the National Park Service. And are you ready? Great Smoky Mountains National Park with 12.1 million people. Can y'all imagine that? Yellowstone National Park came in at number 2 at 3.8 million. And the Grand Canyon came in at 2.9 million. Now, those numbers may change for 2021 because we saw an explosion at some of our national parks, but we don't have those numbers yet. So 2020 is the most recent that I could find. Okay, and that is straight on the National Park website right there. So, yeah, so the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, number 1, right there. Yay, Smokies, right? And there again, what do the Smoky Mountains offer? Again, it's like Hawaii, it's except closer and less expensive. It has wide open spaces, lots of hiking trails, swimming, lots of things to do outdoors. It's really like an outdoor lover's paradise. There's rock climbing, all kinds of things, kayaking, all kinds of things to do outside. And that is what people are wanting to do right now more than ever. And that's be outside. Valerie says she's getting all the questions wrong. That's okay. I'll have more questions in just a minute. I've got some different ones. And after we're finished, I'll go over in the group and I'll post all these links and stuff so you can see them over in the group. Okay? Now, and if you're not in our Facebook group, you should join us. Just saying. All right. And that link is down below in the description box. Excuse me. Constantly coughing here. And Stellar Piper is saying also bears. Yes, we have black bears, which you don't want to get too close to. It's always best to keep your distance from wildlife. Just saying. Okay, so what I am asking next is how many named national parks are in the national park system? And when I say named national parks, I'm talking about places that say national park. So Grand Teton National Park, Yellowstone National Park that we mentioned, Glacier National Park. How many national parks, named national parks, are in the national park system? Over A, over 400, B, 63, or C, 100? What might it be? And this one did not surprise me because I'm like a national park freak. Y'all know that. If you have been on my channel long, you are going to know that I am. And so a lot of people are surprised about this number. National parks, named national parks. Stellar Piper is asking national parks only or including national forests. So Lori Jean is saying C at 100. Candy is saying 100. Valerie is saying over 400. Okay. You all may be surprised. Here we are, coming up. National Park website. National Park System. Named national parks. We have 63. And these are the ones that are actually designated national parks. So there's 63 of those. Now there are over 400 sites that the national park oversees, but they're actually like, well, I'll just scroll through here. They're like battlefields, battlefield parks, military parks, historic trails, things like that, memorials, monuments. All those are overseen by the national parks, but they're different and they each have, like a different focus and things like that. So national scenic rivers, trails, national seashores, they oversee those too. But the actual national parks, there's 63 of them. Does that kind of blow your mind? Yeah, Candy's saying, wow, that's surprising. Beverly and John Caldora. Hey, Beverly. She's here. And she guessed correctly at 63. Peter Parker is here. So hi, Peter, and welcome. Peter says 200. It was actually 63. Yeah. Yep, we got snow. So, yeah. And, so when I'm talking about national parks, I am talking about the designated national parks. So whenever I say that in context of this live stream, that's what I'm talking about. Now, question for you all is, are all of the U.S. national parks within our 50 states? Yes or no? I know that's kind of an odd question. Let's see, Tanya Lambert's here. So, hey, Tanya. Excuse me. So, yeah, are all of the U.S. national parks within our 50 states? Yes or no? Because, we have territories too. Hint. Okay, Tanya says no. Okay. Candy says no. Peter claims that he's in Hawaii. Okay. All right, so here we go. The answer is no. Because we have, I'm going to scroll down here on this list, we have National Park of American Samoa right here. And that is in America Samoa. There's a picture too. Does that not look gorgeous? I would love to be right there on that beach, like right now. We could live stream from there, couldn't we, y'all? So that's one. And the other one is, let me get back to this. I've lost my link. Okay, there we are. The other one is in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I'm overlooking this link. Here we go. Virgin Islands National Park in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So these are not typically what we think of, excuse me, as being part of our National Park Service, but the U.S. does have territories. And so they are considered part of the U.S., just not necessarily part of our 50 states that we think about. And they do have national parks. Ooh. Now there's another beach. I'm telling y'all, I may want to hop on that one. So we've got that. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still coughing, still having like COVID fog and things like that going on. But overall, I'm doing better. Still may run out of air here and there. I posted a video about the service dog. It was just a short. I did it at Dollar Tree. And you can tell I'm really breathless in that. But thank you. Hey, I'm feeling better. Still have a long way to go. So, Tanya says she can't seem to get to feeling better yet. I'm sorry, Tanya. Don't be me. I told somebody else earlier, don't be me. Thank you, Lori. Lori Jean is saying she's glad I'm feeling better. I appreciate that. So let's talk about, we've got some trivia done. And like I said, I'm going to put the link to that, or I may just copy and paste everything and put it over in the group. So let's talk about planning. Where do we want to get started with our planning? You know, I'm actually not sure where to get started. So I'm going to do a screen share. I'm doing a lot of that tonight. And we are going to go over to our spinning wheel. And it's going to help us decide, okay? So let's spin the wheel and see what we're going to talk about first. Deals. Ta-da! Is there anybody that does not want to talk about vacation deals? Okay, because we got to do that. So vacation deals is what we're going to talk about, and that is how to find them. Because we overlook deals all the time. And when I'm talking about deals, I'm also talking about discounts that we may get. So I want to back up and give you some background on me just a second. And that is I have spent over a decade in the travel industry, well over that. I used to work in a hotel. I've also written travel articles. I actually won an award for that with Associated Content. I've written for Associated Content, Examiner, Yahoo Voices, some blogs. Certainly, I've done blogging on my channel. Wrote for Across Tennessee, so several places. So all of this experience I'm sharing with you to hopefully help you have a better time. Now, Valerie is saying that, okay, Tanya says planning, yes. Busy Lady says, woohoo, deals, yes. Lori Jean says, nice. And Tanya says, you should do a video when you pack for your service dog what you have so far. I will. I'm going to do like so many service dog travel videos, because just about everything I do for a service dog, you're also going to do with a pet. So we'll definitely be having some, especially closer to June when we get ready. So anyway, I'm excited about that. So don't let me get too far off on that tangent, okay? So let's go back. We're talking about vacation deals. So for finding deals, there are a plethora of places that you're going to want to check, okay? That includes using your travel agents, your online travel agents, your booking sites. Also, look into your discounts. Costco has a travel section. You can go to the Costco website and look at that to check their deals. Also, look at what promotions that the companies are running. For example, if you're going to be traveling by air, nobody wants to pay more for airline tickets than they absolutely have to. So when you're planning on air travel, go sign up for the email programs of your airlines, because sometimes there are travel deals that are only available by email, and you won't find them unless you're signed up on your email. So, like, for example, I got this wonderful email back in early 2020 for an Alaska vacation. Well, I took an Alaska vacation, but Alaska Airlines had the tickets, buy one, get one free. Now, that was too much of a deal for me to pass up. So I jumped on it, and a girlfriend jumped on it, and we took my younger daughter, and we all went to Alaska on this half-price fare. So I wound up going round trip for less than $350 and had a great trip. Busy says she's interested in traveling alone. Go for it. I would suggest, if you've got an interest in solo travel, you just hop on that wagon and go. Says the person who drove to Alaska by herself. I'm just saying. Solo travel can be absolutely amazing. We'll talk about that probably on another live stream. But yeah, if that's what you're thinking of, if that's what you're dreaming of, then go. And look for those half-price tickets. Okay, Stellar Piper says her food just got there, so she's going to go eat. Bye, everyone. So, bye, Stellar. Thank you for coming in. So, other places to look for travel deals, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more as we get into planning, is the books that come from the travel and tourism bureaus. Oftentimes they have listings of hotels and motels, and sometimes they have special deals in these. And there are online booking sites. Booking.com is one that I've used several times to get good deals, but we have so many more options than what we did even a couple of years ago. We have Vrbo that's coming up. We have Airbnb that people are using on a regular basis. And then, of course, we still have our bed and breakfast, hotels. All of those options are still on the table, plus these new ones like Vrbo and Airbnb. If you are traveling in an RV, you have all of those choices, plus you've got campgrounds, and there's harvest hosts, which I frankly love, because you pay a fee to harvest host, and then you can spend the night at any one of hundreds of locations that are museums, distilleries, wineries, farms, and businesses where they'll let you spend the night. They do ask that you spend $20 like in their gift shop or seeing their museums and what have you, which is usually not a problem. Yeah, Valerie just pointed out that hotels have loyal customer rewards cards. You can earn free nights. I was just fixing to get into that, because if you go to any hotel, even if you don't think you're going to go back to that particular brand, a lot of times there are umbrellas like Choice Hotels, which I like to use a lot. They have a program where they all have these programs where after so many nights, you can earn a free night, but you can get gift cards and stuff. But like Choice Hotels is the umbrella over Sleep In, Comfort Inn and Suites, Quality Inn, Econo Lodge, several different brands. So even if you think you're not going to go back to a Choice Hotels, you might find yourself in, if you're taking in another one, if you're taking a vacation. So whatever brand you stay in for the night, go ahead and sign up for the rewards program, because like Valerie pointed out, you can earn free nights. That can be a huge savings. In fact, that's one that I used when we went to Alaska on that half-price trip. We split the hotel costs, but I had a free night, so I didn't have to pay for my first night of the hotel. So just saying. But do sign up for that. Let's see. Candy says she needs to go do some things, may come back on before you're finished. Go do your things and come back. We'll hopefully see you a little bit later. Busy says she loves staying at hotels. Good deal. Valerie says, we used a free night at Holiday Inn by the airport before our flight to St. Lucia. It was convenient because we had a 6 a.m. flight. Boy, 6 a.m. Wow. So you had to be at the airport like at 4, right? Because they usually say 2 hours before the flight. Okay, Tanya, thanks for coming in. You have a good night. She says she's going to go. She just wanted to say hello. So we appreciate that. So those are some of the things. Also, if you were going to a theme park like Walt Disney World, they didn't do this last year, but they have done it in the previous years, and we are hoping they bring it back. There's actually times where you can go to Walt Disney World and your dining is included. That means once you pay for it, it's done, and your meals are included in your package. Packages can offer you tremendous savings too. Valerie says 4 a.m. is really early, and the airport is 1.5 hours from our house. So yeah, staying that night before can really make or break a trip. So absolutely, I would go at 4. I mean, I would go overnight so I could be there at 4. Because you never know what's going to happen in that 1.5 hours. So yeah, if you're going to relax, you need to start from the get-go. So now we're going to go back to the wheel here and see what else we're going to talk about. Whoops. All right. We're going to spin it and see what we're going to talk about. Type of travel. Ta-da! All right, so when we're talking about type of travel, we are talking about if you're doing a weekend getaway, solo female travel, or solo travel in general. Just what kind of travel do you want? Is it a girls' weekend? Are you going for a honeymoon? Do you want a road trip? So one of the first things that you want to do when you're planning is to decide first what kind of trip that you want this to be, because that decision informs every other decision that you make, because it's very different. If you're going to grab a couple of girlfriends and you're going to go for a week, it's very different than if you're taking the whole family and you're packing up kids from the ages of, let's say, 6, 12, and 16, and you and your husband. There's a lot more to take into consideration about the different levels of travels that you have to do to keep small children occupied and to keep teens occupied and to make you and your husband happy on the trip. So that's one of the first things you want to do is sit down and think about exactly what kind of trip that you want. And if you're doing family travel, then you also need to start thinking about, if you're going to take a road trip, what's involved with that, or, what your mode of transportation is going to be no matter which trip. So figuring out what kind of trip you want is crucial because it really does inform everything else, like I said. All right, so the next topic we have down, I'm going to go back to spinning the wheel here. Mode, budget, planning, and insurance. Let's see what it comes up with. Insurance. Okay, there's a couple of different kinds of insurance that I want to talk about on this. And that is, the first one that I want to talk about is your trip insurance. Now, AAA is great. I have AAA. I absolutely love it. And it comes with trip interruption insurance. So if I get halfway to where I'm going and the car breaks down, then I can get reimbursed for hotel rooms and food and incidentals up to a certain limit, depending on what level of AAA membership that I have. But it won't cover anything about if I plan a big vacation, like Valerie did with her cruise. It won't cover it if I'm like halfway to my cruise destination and somebody gets sick, or for some reason there's a disaster and I can't get to the cruise. Well, I don't want to be out all of that money. So trip insurance is what you will want to cover things like that. Now, you may have some coverage on your credit card, which is great when you go to rent a car and so forth. Then that coverage can certainly come in handy. But there are often gaps. And to get your better coverage for some of the bigger ticket items, get the trip insurance. I know, it's more money. But we're talking about spending, let's say you're doing Walt Disney, and you're going to spend $100 for your trip insurance compared to all the money that you're spending out for tickets in a hotel. So if you're doing a trip that's going to be $1,500 or $2,000, it really makes a lot of sense to go ahead and spend that $100 to get your trip insurance. Same thing on if you're going to fly somewhere, for those big expenses. Now, if the place that you are booking your vacation through doesn't offer trip insurance or travel insurance, you can buy it online. There's several different companies online that you can purchase it through. You can talk, if you belong to AAA, you can talk to them. If you should go ahead and use a travel agent, if they don't offer it, ask for it. So those are some of the ways that, some of the places and some of the ways that you can get trip insurance. If you're planning a major trip with big expenses, it's important. Also, I'm going to say your health insurance is a big deal. Let me get to Valerie here. Oh, you did not do a cruise this time. Okay, she went to a Sandals resort in St. Lucia. I'm sorry. I really thought you did a cruise. I didn't realize that you went to a resort. I think, Valerie, that I associate you, sand, snorkeling with cruises, because I know you like to cruise. Okay, now Valerie is saying Sandals comes with trip insurance included. Perfect. And she says that her travel agent always gets the insurance for her trips. It is so very, very important to have that trip insurance because you never know what's going to come up. Nobody ever plans for something bad to happen. That's why you want the trip insurance. It's one of those things where you hope you don't need it. You hope it's just an extra expense that's not going to be needed at all. But when you need the trip insurance, you are really glad that you have it. One year I was going on a trip, happened to be a mission trip. We were all flying to the mission site, and boom, 2 days before we took off, there was a husband and his wife got really, really sick and had to be hospitalized. Well, he didn't want to go without her. But fortunately, they had the trip insurance that would cover those airline tickets, so they didn't have to worry. Yeah. So it's a big deal. So always get your trip insurance. Also, If you happen to be going out of the country on an international trip, that trip insurance will oftentimes cover your medical expenses when you're out of the country. Because guess what, folks? Don't plan on your health insurance here working anywhere except here. In fact, the other type of insurance that I want to talk about for just a minute is not just trip insurance, but your health insurance. You want to check that before you go and make sure that you have your health insurance cards with you. Because even if you go to get a prescription filled, you may have to show your insurance card if you're planning on using insurance to get your prescription. Not every pharmacy is nationwide. Even those that are nationwide still may be a little further away than where you're going to be practical. So you may want to rely on like a local pharmacy to help you out. That's just one example. But one thing that you really want to check on before you go is what is your emergency department coverage, just in case. Nobody wants to use it, but just in case you want to find out if you've got a deductible, how much is the deductible, or if you have an emergency department copay, what will that be? And just check that out. Also find out in the area that you are traveling to. Let's say you're going to the desert Southwest. Check out look and see if there are any look and see if there are any healthcare providers there that are in network. And if you have to call and ask, the numbers are usually on the back of your card. I was surprised to find out that some people don't carry their insurance cards with them. I happened to be at the doctor's office and somebody was like, "Oh, I don't carry my insurance card. It's at home." And the person who was registering the person in front of me was like, "How do I register you if you don't have your card?" So he actually had to make a trip back home and get it, which messed up his appointment, which was a hassle for all of us. So make sure, if you don't usually carry your insurance card, make sure you pack it. Okay, and Valerie, excuse me, Valerie is saying she had a flight get canceled once, and the insurance covered her hotel for the night and the taxi. Super important. Yeah. You want to make sure you have that coverage. Okay, so that's our trip insurance and our health insurance. The other insurance I want to talk to you about just a minute is your car insurance. Let's see. Beverly says, does your health insurance follow you? Medicare does not cover if outside the U.S. No, as far as I've ever read, heard, and been told, no, it doesn't. And that's why you want the trip insurance. Now, there are some places that I have heard about, but I do not have personal experience with. But there apparently are some places in Mexico that if you go for medical care, they will give you the information and you can file it with your insurance, and supposedly some insurance companies will pay. That's what I've read. That's what I've heard, but I do not have personal experience with that. So if somebody listening to this later does, let me know. Just drop that in the comment section. But yeah, your trip insurance will often cover that. But that's for international. Sometimes that it will only cover international. It won't cover within the U.S. So not only do you want to get your trip insurance, but read it. Don't rely on the person that's selling it to you to have actually read the policy. Do that yourself. Always pay attention to the fine print, whatever you're doing. And let's see, what was the other insurance that I said? Trip to health, car. Okay, your car insurance. Check before you go. Always, before you do a trip, there's basics that you want to cover. And car insurance is one of them. And I'm not just saying check it to make sure it's active, because you know if you've got car insurance or not most of the time. But check what it covers, because if you are renting a car, if your car insurance covers a rental car, you may not want to purchase coverage also from the rental car company, which can be very expensive. Now, there are some perks to buying insurance from a rental car company. And that usually is, it'll cover everything except sometimes a deductible, and they won't notify your insurance company. But you're also paying a lot. But if you check your car insurance coverage, look for things like that. Look for towing. A lot of people don't realize it. You may have unlimited towing with your car insurance. We think about that for AAA. We think about that for Good Sam. But we don't always check our car insurance policy. So look for things like that. And, it will also help inform, the rest of your trip as far as what you might need or what you might not need. Okay? So, all right. So that covers our insurance. So we're going to go back to the spinning wheel and see what our next topic is. And I put all these together and I made notes on all of these. So it's not completely random. Okay, so now we have plan, budget, and mode. Let's see what it hits us with. Mode. Okay, and what I'm talking about here is the mode of transportation. Often you're going to have several different types of transportation. If you drive to an airport, then you're going to have driving, you're going to have flying. If you are taking a bus tour, then you're going to be usually driving and then getting on the bus. So you may have multiple forms of transportation. When you go back to your early trip planning on picking out what kind of travel you wanted to have, were you going to do leisure travel? Are you going to do it with family, friends, weekend getaway, honeymoon, and so forth? First, plan that, and then look at what your mode of travel is going to be. Now, in the U.S., that's often road trips, trains, buses, flying. Okay, those are usually what we have to choose from. We do have cruises, like up and down the Mississippi River Cruise, for example. So when you are choosing your destination, sometimes you may not want to drive if you can take a train, because it adds to your vacation. It can just bring in another element of fun. Now, sometimes it's not cost effective. I got that. But look and see what all's available for where you want to go. You may be surprised, and you may be surprised when it comes to cost. For example, a few years ago, I went to New York City from Tennessee on $20 round trip, because Megabus, which was the bus line out of Knoxville that went lots of places, they had this thing where if you booked in advance, they always had fares as low as $1, and then usually it went to $3, and then usually it went to $5, and then it went to $10. Well, I happened to catch the $10 tickets, and then had that online booking fee and was able to do that round trip for $20. So a girlfriend and I went to New York. We had a fabulous time. I would not have thought necessarily to check the bus had I not already, heard about it and become somewhat familiar with it. Because who goes for something like that for $20? Whoops. So otherwise, I might have either flown or driven. And that's got their advantages too. But I got to see more of the country, and I got to meet some really neat people by taking the bus trip. Also, flying versus driving. We oftentimes think that if we're going to take a 10-hour trip, it may be a lot faster to take an airplane. That's what we think. But when we actually look at it, if we're looking at a 10-hour flight, what we have to do is we have to be at the airport 2 hours ahead. So that makes our travel time 12 hours, except you got to look about how long it's going to take you to get from your driveway to the airport and park and get into the airport. Depending on where you live, that could be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, what have you. But I'm going to pick on me again. I am over an hour to an airport. So I know if I fly, I've got to add an hour and a half. Well, if I have the time, flying may not be my quickest option. It could well be that driving is the quickest option because you look, your 10-hour flight time is 12 hours. And I'm including layovers on this, okay? So your 10-hour flight time goes to 12 hours because you have to be there 2 hours early. Then if I tack on what I have for leaving and going and getting parked, if it's going to take me an hour and a half, then I've got 13 and a half hours of travel time. Well, when I look at a map and look at where I can be in that same driving time, it really can change how you look at things. Because if you've got a 12-hour driving window, even if you're in the middle of the country, that's a huge distance that you can cover in the same length of time as what it would take you to drive it. And it can be even cheaper because you don't have to pay a rental car. So depending on what your tickets are going to cost and what your rental car would cost, you got to look at all of that. So flying may not be your fastest way. Driving may be. And driving may be your least expensive option when you look at the parking, the airfare, the rental car, and all those extra expenses. With your own vehicle, you've got gas, and what else? Let's see. Let me go back here. Valerie says, plus you have to pay for parking for several days at the airport. That's an additional expense. Yes, ma'am. And all of that adds up. So when you're choosing mode of transportation, look at the total picture and think outside the box. Don't get so focused in on one type of transportation that you miss another type that might make the trip more interesting and more cost effective, like the Megabus trip. So all right. So we're going to go back into spin the wheel. See what we got. Excuse me. There it is. Couldn't find the link there. All right. Now we have spin the wheel. Plan and budget. Budget. All right. That's pretty much self-explanatory. But when you first look at what type of travel you want to do, then set aside and look at what your cost for that travel is going to be and try to come up with a budget. If you can work with a budget and stay within those parameters, you can actually have a much less stressful trip than if you're worried about money the whole time. And a lot of people, the envelope method works for them. They'll take out their gas money, estimate it through like travelmath.com, estimate their gas mileage, put that in an envelope, estimate like miscellaneous expenses, put that in an envelope, and then the rest is their own like per diem, the amount that they have to spend per day. For a lot of people, that method works. But sit down, have a dollar amount in mind that you absolutely will not go over. Plan for that and stick with that. Now, there are ways that you can stretch the budget, like the travel deals that we just talked about. Also, something my husband and I like to do on trips is he sometimes gets gift cards through the year that people will sometimes give him for like pastor appreciation and so forth. And so we save those gift cards, and when we go on a trip, that's when we use them. So we can oftentimes go to the Cracker Barrel because we've got a gift card. And that doesn't necessarily always have to come out of our trip budget. So it's a way to stretch it. Bing Rewards, if you sign up for them, your internet searches can earn points, so you can get gift cards on those. Now, those gift cards are $5 increments, but they add up. They're cumulative. So let's say you want to get their Walmart gift card, and this month you get $5 worth. Next month you've got 10. Even if you only get the $5 gift cards and you get one every month, at the end of the year, that's $60. And you're talking about a tank and a half of gas for most of us with that $60. And that can help stretch your budget. Coupons can help stretch the budget. National coupons, like for Olive Garden and stuff, sometimes you can find those in the paper, sometimes online. Those are good if it's a national coupon, it's good for any location. So if I have a $10 off coupon for Olive Garden, then when I go on the trip, I'm going to use it at Olive Garden and I'm going to save that $10. Also, Busy Lady says she has still not been to Cracker Barrel. I'm going to come to Michigan. Just take you to the Cracker Barrel. I'm just saying. So, yeah, but check those restaurants. Also, if there's restaurants that you're going to go to, sign up for their app. Look at what deals they've got. McDonald's is famous for them. You've got Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, whatever fast food place or restaurant that you like, sign up for their app, their email club, and if you've got unlimited texting on your phone, go ahead and sign up for their text deals. That way, when you're out on the road, you'll know what's going on and how you can save money. Okay, Valerie says she's not a fan of Cracker Barrel, and Busy Lady says, how come everyone says it's so amazing? And it kind of does depend on the Cracker Barrel. It's like everything else. So this all brings it to our last item on the list. We don't even have to spin the wheel for this one, but that is our planning. Now, and that is crucial. So we may think that, I'm going to go ahead and spin it anyway. What the heck? We're here. Ta-da! But we may think, yeah, we can just hop in the car and we can just go to this town like 2 hours away, and we're just going to get there and we're going to have this fun trip. And you probably will anyway. But you can really add to the trip by doing some planning ahead of time and doing some research. So planning, of course, starts with whatever you want to do as far as the type of trip. It also involves, like I said, your budget and so forth. Thank you all for banning and doing what you're doing there. The moderators are having to be active. So thank you very much, moderators. Appreciate that. So when you're very first doing your planning and doing your budget, look at the area where you're going and start picking up information about that area. And you can tell that I've got tons of info. And you don't have to spend money. You can get tour books from AAA if you have them, and you can go out and you can purchase books. But let me tell you, we have this thing called the internet now, and you can get on the internet and do your searching and looking for things to do and do your planning. But also, most places have travel and tour books. So you can go online and order them for free from the travel and tourism commissions in that state. So just do a search for travel and tourism and pick a state. You can also search for chambers of commerce. They have information. Your individual cities will often have a tourism department there, so you can contact them all ahead of time. They can send you maps and books and things like that. And this one happens to be from Ohio. Virginia is not close to Ohio, so I did order this online. And in it has information on things to do. It will also tell you about events, and for example, this one covers date night spots, all kinds of things, and information on every city. So take a minute and look for things like that that are online, and that you can order online rather, and look for online coupons for the cities that you want to travel to. For example, if you're going to, say, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, they have a plethora of coupons online if you look at the tourism site. Don't forget also, you can look for historic sites. For example, this one from the East Tennessee History Center is about bringing history to life, and it's got a list of museums on the back of it. So you may want to check out museums where you're going to go. Doing your research will help. Also, during certain times of the year, there may be certain events that you either want to go to or you might want to avoid. If you're going to Albuquerque for the Balloon Festival, it's a huge deal. Unless you're into ballooning, that may not be the time for you to go because everything is taken up by the Balloon Festival. So changing and planning your trip for 2 weeks either way, or even a week, or a few days even, can make a huge difference. So look at all of that. Yeah, it could be Valerie. It could be. So, yeah. So that's really as far as vacation planning and budgeting and all of the stuff, the travel trivia and whatnot. That's really what I have for tonight. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know what you think. I'm always up for ideas and suggestions, especially if it's travel or service dog. Yeah, go ahead, fire those off, and I'll be glad to answer. So thank you all. Thank you, moderators, for being amazing and doing a fabulous job. Don't forget to plan. One thing I did want to mention that I realize now I forgot. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to fight this COVID fog thing about planning. Make notes. When you have a place that interests you, don't laugh at me. Go ahead and make notes. Now, I have a file box that I put all my little note cards in. Sometimes it's places I've been, sometimes it's places I want to go, but I make lots of notes. So if I have a conversation with someone that's been someplace that I want to go, I will sometimes say, hey, let me make a note of this, or let me write this down, and then I'll come back and I will put that in my card file with my other notes. And I divide it up like Virginia tours, Tennessee tours, North Carolina, South Carolina, and so forth, places that I want to go. So keep notes. If you go someplace and you think that you might want to go back sometime, make notes not just on your destination, but make notes on things that caught your eye when you were going to your destination, because you might want to incorporate some of those in a future trip. So there you go. Those are some of my tips to help you hopefully have a fabulous vacation. So anyway, thank you all again. Moderators, you've been awesome. I appreciate what you have done and what you are doing. So you all, I will see you. I've got a couple of videos coming out this week, and I've got, of course, the live stream on Saturday night. So I'll be seeing you. You all take care. Always #be bodacious, which means don't let life get in the way of living. So thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.